Hey YouTube! Got a shot of this Friedman Mini BE amp off my pal Ian, and I thought, oh, that's exciting. I'd only just got it like an hour ago. So I kind of want to plug it in and see what it's like. Friedman are way more expensive than I don't really look at them. I know they're the valve heads and stuff are pricey, so to be honest, I don't even look at them. So I really don't know anything other than I've heard of the name, and I know they might even make expensive guitars as well. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of play a wee 2 minutes. I'm going to use my Ibanez Blazer 81 stock, apart from the paint job. So now I'm using this is my current amp's a Laney VC15, and it's playing through the Trace Elliott 3x12, and it is actually a guitar cabinet. So this is what it sounds like playing just a bridge pickup. So I want to see if the Friedman can do this. I'm going to use the Joyo US Dream pedal. And possibly the twin note fuzz pedal. These are the ones I'm kind of using mostly just now. So I'm going to pause it right now and plug in the Friedman, see what it's like. Right, so I've plugged in the Friedman Mini BE. All the dials are at 12 o'clock, and I'm just going straight into the amp. Just now, I might try the pedal, see what it sounds like without it. Anyway, could have set up a second camera, but the knobs are volume, bass, mid, treble, presence, and gain, and there's a couple of wee mini switches. So turn it on. I'm still running through the 3x12 cabinet. Right, so the volume's at 0, by the way. All the knobs are at 12 o'clock apart from volume. The gain must be, I was kind of expecting it to be clean, but obviously I've turned the gain down a bit for that. Turn the gain down. Turn the gain at nothing actually. Well, to be fair, it's not going clean like I expected. There's a couple of mini switches. We're going to try and hit them. One of them's called Cut, and that's at the top set just now. Now it's in the middle. Yeah, okay. Tight one. It's not what I expected. I was expecting it to operate like a normal amp head, but it doesn't have clean. It's just that's kind of as clean as I can get it. Kind of like that. The right-handed tight switch. I prefer that to when it's at the top. This is it at the bottom. Yeah. These are also very powerful pickups, so knobs now. See, it's kind of being a solid state, and I'm a tube snob, I don't mind saying it. That's not actually far off just kind of what my soft tech sort of sounds like when I'm playing it live. You know, the difference being when you roll the volume back, it doesn't clean up the same way. So I get away with sort of like 9 on the volume control. It's kind of quite leady guitar, and then if I just throw it back to sort of, it normally becomes almost clean. Like when you totally just touch the strings, which this doesn't do. Yeah, so I'll try putting the gain up to half again. Kind of very Marshall JCM. Very much that in it. It's very bassy. I'll try to turn the bass down. That's me using a bridge pickup and a Strat. As we cut the mid completely out, I'm going to put the mid up. No, like that. Less mids. Presence up a bit. Presence doesn't even do anything. So I'm not actually going to bother putting my pedals into it because they're kind of they're already set up for going into a clean amp, so kind of going into an already distorted one, they're not going to sound the same anyway. Certainly loud enough. Gain it full for searing metal. Actually, when you get the gain up, it seems less muddy. Let's turn the mids down. Gain it nothing at all. I'm surprised I couldn't get any clean out at all. Even down quiet with the gain at nothing and the volume at very little is sort of clean. It's always Black Sabbath. Yeah, when you've got a gain down low, it's dead muddy. When you boost it, it's but it really is too extreme for me. I mean, saying that sound are totally fine usable. That's totally fine. It's just a little bit too Metallica-y sounding for me. A bit too crunchy, but not enough I'm not good with words. It kind of sounds like, see when you get like the wee Marshall, the one I sold to Blacktooth Fox, the NG15. It's kind of that way. It sounds like it's playing through a really wee speaker, but it's not. It's playing through a 3x12. So I don't know. It's a funny one. But then again, I don't like the Metallica albums. The first few, I really like some of the songs, but I don't like the sound of the album whatsoever. Maybe it's a taste thing. Just make sure it goes too loud. Sounds an awful lot better up loud. Although it's probably just mushing the camera, the microphone. Just too loud for in here. I don't. It doesn't sound very good quiet. Yeah, so another issue I had with, just totally not the amp's fault. It doesn't sit on top of this Laney because it's that's it. Thingy. Because of the handle. It's kind of, so if you plan to put it on top of a Laney VC15, you need I think this is a watch box, which I found through there, to put it on, so it sits on it. Yeah, so there we go there. I mean, just being honest, it's not mine, but it's not for me. I need a clean to put, like, because of the way mind you, it's got an FX loop, so you might be able to do it that way. Because I do a lot of stuff messed about with the loop pedal, I kind of need a clean thing for the loop pedal to go into, and then a distortion pedals in front of it, so I can put down like a clean rhythm track and then solo over the top of it, or a dirty rhythm track and then solo over the top of it and clean. Whereas if you're running a loop into this, it's all going to be distorted in this amp, so I need to have pedals going in. Yeah, I mean, it does look cool. It kind of looks like a Softtech actually. It's even my Softtech's quite cute because it's quite small. This is even smaller, but actually watching the other demo I saw, it wasn't like a real world demo, you know, it was like a shop produced thing. I've just played through that mic there in that cabinet, no jiggery pokery. And the Mr. Friedman was like up here, yeah, well, he was asked what his game plan was, you know, what was your spec sheet? It was up here, yeah, I wanted to make a mini amp in a wooden box, and it's like, okay. So it does feel much better than like your Black Stars and stuff like that. Mind you, it costs an awful lot more than. I've not tried the Valve ones. I'm talking about. I've got the ID Core 20, which is my favourite wee amp. This one is. It's totally not for me. But in saying that, I could use it. I could probably just gig it, to be honest. But the fact it doesn't clean up the right way, I don't know whether that's just me being a tube snob or whether. What Friedman amp? They're all designed to be distorted. Maybe they are. In that case, I wouldn't like the big, you know, the big tube heads and stuff like that. It just seems to me to be a kind of one soundy sort of thing. I didn't do very much messing about with the EQ, but it didn't seem to be doing a huge amount. Again, I'm no sound engineer, so I think it's a fun thing. I don't think it's cheap though, but I think it's like 300 odd quid, and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's like a practice amp or something, and you only liked using distorted. Mind you, I suppose if you're using the effects loop, you might be able to do something to make it less gainy. When the Softtech I gigged with at the weekend there doesn't really do clean, but if you've got the volume, you can kind of throttle back and then hit the strings really lightly, and it's clean. Whereas I think that might be a Valve thing, although I'm not really sure. Yeah, so I think in the right hands it's probably amazing. It's just it's not for me. I don't like it. No, me no likey. Ian also gave me a shot of one of the wee Vox, the wee tiny Voxes, the ones with the new tube thing in it. So I was quite wanting to try that, but he gave me the wrong power supply and he can't find the real one. It's it's like 19 volt or something like that. Not the sort of thing you've got lying about. So I would have liked to try that as well as this. So I wonder how similar it is to this, being a sort of similar idea. I think one of the problems you get like like this, it kind of looks a bit like a Tiny Terror, even though I think there's an even smaller one that is solid state. I think they're kind of designed to be ran at full bung, so you don't it's just clean up until room shaking levels for like the way a valve amp would work. This is more does a distortion at a quiet level, so maybe that's what it's been designed for. Maybe it means it's got a headphone socket. It doesn't. So it's not really like a wee practice amp you would take with you, and then when you're. It's a funny one. Not really sure what it's for, but as I said, the guy who designed it said that pure. To be honest, it didn't really matter. But it sounded like people would buy it anyway because it's so cute and they like the Friedman big amp, and it's like, well, you shouldn't really be saying that in your your promo video. I wouldn't have thought. So it's kind of thumbs down from me. Sorry, you'll not be able to sell it using this video. But I mean, if this is what you want, then I think it maybe just does things that I don't like. I'm gonna do his guitar later, and he's got like EMGs and I'm gonna fit Fluence pickups to it. I'm just doing this before I move the camera. So that should be interesting. But it's like those guitars, I don't really know what to do with them. It's like it's drop tuned. He wants it down to C, so it's like drop C, and then it's got the EMGs. And it's like that's just not for what I do. I'm like, well, maybe not exactly. I don't have a great range, but I like to play when I was playing at the start. Those kind of distorted sounds with a Blazer, that kind of thing, and it's like this sort of does that, but it doesn't do the clean. And I think the EMG type guitars maybe would work really well with this amp if that was the sound you were after. That kind of, I would class it as modern sound. Like pure after the 80s, like pure, but new metal. It's like pure. It started in 1987. Yeah, rock on.